Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups, and it's time for a Comics Revisited. Today we revisit Venom The Mace. That's right everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers, and it's time for a Comics Revisited. We've been going through these early Venom comic books. Today we're talking about Venom The Mace from 1994. I am Rockin' Robbie Billups. This is
Brooks
the Magnificent, and thank you guys for joining us here on the Comics Revisited. This book that we're talking about is available here in this trade paperback, Venom Separation Anxiety. It collects 4 stories. We'll be covering those stories this week and the next few weeks, and well, there's a break here in between special things. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Anyway, this is Venom Separation Anxiety. In it, it has Venom the Mace. Venom the Mace was a 3-part story. It was written by Carl Potts. Carl Potts wrote Venom Funeral Pyre, which we've already covered. He also wrote Punisher, War Journal, and maybe even the Punisher proper back in the day. So he's kind of like...
That was when Punisher was big, too.
Yes. And he... So not only was Punisher big, anti-heroes were big, Venom was big, he was Marvel's go-to anti-hero guy, right? And the art is done by Liam Sharp. Liam Sharp, of recent fame from Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman run from DC Rebirth, Brave and the Bold, the Batman Wonder Woman crossover, and now he's taking over next month for Green Lantern. He's going to be on Green Lantern with Grant Morrison. Super excited for that. But Carl Potts wrote Funeral Pyre. The first Venom series was Lethal Protector. It set up the world. He's in San Francisco, all that stuff, right? The next one brought in the Punisher. It was written by Carl Potts. I really like Funeral Pyre. We talked about the madness. We talked about Enemy Within. I think that the Mace is kind of a return to form. I think that the Mace is pretty decent. I really, really do like it. I think it's a pretty solid book. My initial impression is that I love the artwork. It's not as refined as Liam Sharp's artwork is today. It's totally in the 90s. And he, a lot of the times he did breakdowns, and I think it was Baum Reinhold or somebody that was doing the inking on them. I'm not sure. Yeah, Bill Reinhold was doing some of the inking, and maybe a couple others. But I really do like the artwork. I think it was great for Venom of the time, 1994. Venom's at its heyday. Lethal Protector has come and gone, Maximum Carnage is done, and now they're just riding this train of constantly producing new Venom books. And I saw in another video that I was watching earlier, Brooks. They said, why didn't they just do an ongoing Venom series? Right? Yeah. Well, they were like, maybe they knew they couldn't sustain it. No. They knew that every time they did a #1 issue, it was going to be a big deal. And every Venom #1 issue for these first few series had a big deal. And the Mace had a multi-layered embossed cover on it. Not just an embossed cover. Multi-layered. And it's like 3D chess over at Star Trek. What are your initial impressions of Venom the Mace before we get into the story?
Well, I'm beginning to think these Venom comics are a little bit ridiculous.
A little bit.
But yeah, the Mace is actually it's a good Venom story. You know, kind of in that same vein of what's come before. But I think it's better than the last one.
Enemy Within, yeah.
I don't know if it was as good as that Hulk crossover.
Oh man, it was way better than the Hulk.
Earthquake.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
But you did like it overall.
Yeah.
I really do like the artwork by Liam Sharp. I think it looks fantastic. I love his character work. We're gonna get to this in a minute, but the evil guy, the main evil guy from the Sunrise Society, kind of looks a little Iron Man-like, right?
He looks just like Iron Man, except he's got like some little extra pieces on his armor.
The anatomy is wrong. The proportions.
He's got that grasshopper face that Iron Man had in the 90s.
Absolutely. Now, talking about Venom by Liam Sharp, like the proportions are all wrong. The anatomy is wrong. But even today, I saw on Twitter Liam Sharp talking about the #1 criticism I have about my art that I hate is when they say that the proportions and the anatomy are wrong. Because no shit, guys. Like, do you think I'm not aware that a human body doesn't move this way? I'm doing superhero comic books. Come on. And so I like it because of that. I like the dynamic. Basically, the story is this. Venom is still in San Francisco. Beck has returned. Beck was his lady friend from Venom the Madness. You remember that? And she was kind of freaked out that he's Venom.
Yeah.
She can't really deal with it, can't really hang with it. So at the end of the madness, they took a break. And I guess the enemy with him was that break. Because now, it starts off, Venom helps these people out in San Francisco. He's still helping the homeless, the vagrants, the people without, the outcasts of society. Right? Still living in this underground society. So basically what's going on is that there are these squatters in San Francisco. And they're getting roughed up for money to pay like protection fees and things like that by other homeless people. But we'll get to that in just a minute.
They're like charging them a toll to cross like through their territory
or just to exist, right? Basically something like that, right? It's just one of those type of things.
And then Venom comes down, you're like, oh, God.
Yeah, so Venom, you know, the people that have been attacked, they're like, oh man, all this stuff's going on. Beck finds out, she's like, yo, these squatters just got attacked by all these people. They're trying to ask for protection fees and things like that. Venom's like, I can't be everywhere at once. Come on, Beck. Apparently, he's still chilling with Beck, though. Now, I thought it was funny, because at the end of the madness, do we not get the impression that Beck is done with Eddie? In a romantic kind of way?
Yeah, it was kind of like half-assed, though. So they could choose to go either way.
I appreciate that Potts brought back that character, though, because she wasn't there in Enemy Within. And one good thing to do with a comic book character is to build up like a supporting cast, right?
Yeah.
And Beck is one of those kind of characters that could have been something. I don't think she really was, because in this one she's a little whiny. Like, so Venom's trying to help people.
She's a typical superhero girlfriend back in the day, you know.
Back in the
Mary
day,
Jane was kind of like that too in the Spider-Man books, where like every panel you'd see of, like you'd be reading Spider-Man, all of a sudden it's cuts to Mary Jane. Oh, I'm so worried about Peter.
And that's a fault of the writers for not knowing how to write the women in the lives of these superhero characters.
Yeah.
They had nothing to do but that storyline, right? Yeah. And it's not a fault of the characters, I think, but a fault of the writers at the time for being like just not thinking too much about it.
Yeah.
But it is also something that maybe would happen in a certain relationship. But I get what you're saying. Like, some people hate those scenes with Mary Jane and Peter Parker, because those would go on for months and months and months.
Yeah.
And with no end in sight, right? And yeah, couples go through ups and downs, but there's more ways to write the wife of a superhero than just, I don't want you to go out there and get hurt. I'm tired of being left alone. Like, that storyline's been done to death, right?
Yeah, she should have been like way used to it by that point.
At least with Beck and Venom, she wasn't really worried about him going out to protect people. Yeah, she was worried about the fact that he was an effing monster, man.
Yeah. It's like with her, it's like no, she's kind of like she's intrigued by him, but at the same time she's like, I think I might want to keep my distance a little.
Yeah, so they're trying to do this friendship thing. Obviously, Eddie has feelings for her. She has feelings for Eddie, but she can't deal with the symbiote. Could you? Like, could you even want to be friends with someone? Would you want to have any kind of relationship whatsoever with someone who gets overtaken by this alien parasite, almost, if you will, and just eats people, man?
I don't know, like, maybe like a magic play group or something. Like, you know, casual magic game every once a week or something.
I got you.
You know?
So anyway, while all this is going on, there's this group called the Sunrise Society. It's a group of cyborg mercenary assassins, basically, right? And one of these dudes is named The Mace. And that's where we get the title of the book. Now, as 90s as the character of The Mace is, he's basically, his gist is they're all cyborgs, right? They all have different powers. He's got this, like, mace. It's a hand that can form weapons, that can do other things. First of all, he's got a stealth mode. He's got infrared vision. He's got to wear these super cool shades that you can just buy at a drugstore, apparently, right? That make him seem normal. But so, I mean, does he have a mace that turns into other things, or does he have a hand?
It's you know, one of those adjectives they used to use in front of things like way back in the day. It's that kind of mace.
Yeah, he's got. It's this mace right there. I'm sure I'll show a photo of it.
Oh, hold on, I could probably.
But he also has the arm.
Has it. Yeah.
So he has
like a dragon tattoo or something.
Yeah, he does.
Ballistic mace.
It's a ballistic mace.
Yeah.
So it can fire things.
Yeah.
Is the idea.
Yeah.
Right? So, now, here's what I'm wondering. Is it the arm that makes the weapons, or is it the mace that makes the weapons?
I think it's the mace.
Okay. But anyway. So he's this... Look at that great... We're getting distracted. So Mace is part of this group, the Sunrise Society. He's not down with it. He tries to escape. And he does escape, but they're coming after him. Right? They're not cool with deserters at the Sunrise Society. who sat in that room. I want to be in that room. We're going to have this organization filled with cyborg mercenaries. What should we call ourselves? I like Sunrise. Maybe we should be the Sunrise Society. I think that sounds menacing and badass. Anyway, this dude is called the Mace. He escapes. He winds up meeting the people from, it's the squatters.
Yeah.
And led by this dude named Alan, right? So, and Alan doesn't want them to hire him. But I'll say straight up, this dude escapes the Sunrise Society. This cyborg mercenary dude that's got this mace that could turn into other weapons and infrared vision. Crazy, early mid-90s cyborg anti-hero type dude, right? He's out there and he's like, man, I need some money. So he meets up with these squatters who can't even, they're basically homeless people, right? And they agree to hire him to protect them from the people that are coming to they're asking them for protection money.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Venom hears about this, so he wants to protect them as well. So he goes and finds this dude named Sam. His name is Sam, I believe. And he's part of Venom's underground society. In fact, this guy Sam and his crew, are the people that are actually extorting Alan and his squatter friends for the protection fee. Right? Yeah. So already we got this conundrum, this moral conundrum coming up. The people that Venom has vowed to protect are the people that are committing a crime against these other squatters in San Francisco. And Beck wants him to stop it, but every time he tries to do it, she gets freaked out when he becomes Venom. He doesn't know what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? He's like, what do you want me to do? You want me to protect these people, but I gotta do it as Venom. Otherwise, I'll get shot and die. Plus, I'm just one entity now. Venom, right? They're fully bonded at this point. So the Mace winds up getting hired by the squatters to protect themselves from Venom's people. So obviously that leads to Venom and the Mace coming into a confrontation. Yeah. They fight. Beck tries to tell Venom, because she meets up with Mace, and she's like, yo, this dude is on the level. Venom doesn't want to hear it. He's just going crazy. So
Venom never listens to anybody. He just does whatever he feels like, and then finally
every single one of these books.
Point where he just stops for a minute.
Venom is not all right in the head. Eddie is not okay. He has now, at this point in the Venom story, in the mythology, Eddie has and the symbiote together have now ingrained their personality around the idea that they protect innocence to the extreme.
They're lethal protectors.
Lethal protectors. And it's become an obsession now. We must protect the innocent. And he doesn't look at all the signs. He doesn't look at everything, all the nuances, what's going on. So he fights Mace. He's pissing off Beck. Then all of a sudden the Sunrise Society shows up to collect on Mace. And they blast Beck, and almost kill her. And it makes Eddie go crazy. Eddie and Mace team up against the Sunrise Society. They eventually defeat them. Long story short. Really not too long. Just 3 issues from 1994. But at the end of the day, Venom realizes that it was his people that were extorting the squatters. Right? Yeah. So he promises Beck that he's going to give them a stern warning and then let them go.
He doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that. But before that, him and Mace come to terms. They defeat these dudes. And the main leader of the Sunrise Society looks like Iron Man at the time. With the mask that you were talking about. I love that Iron Man that debuted in issue 300. Had the pentagram almost on his face. You know what I'm saying? Loved it so much. It looks a little bit like that with some added oomph to it. They defeat those guys. He's got that whiplash thing too. Kind of tough for Venom to deal with, but they work through it. They defeat them basically, and the Mace pulls off his mask, his sunglasses, and he pulls off the mask of the leader, and they're the same dude. Oh my goodness, it's Clone Wars. In actuality, the Mace and everybody else in the Sunrise Kingdom is all
clones of Jango Fett.
No, but they're clones of this one dude like Dr. Ito or something like that, right? I don't know. They do eventually elaborate on this in a Marvel Comics Presents. Like they do it in across a few issues there. They elaborate that they're all cloned from the same dude or whatever. But I believe this is the only appearance by Mace is this series. I think Mace was cool. Basically what Carl Potts was doing was he was trying to create characters that he could utilize in his future career. Pyre and now the Mace. Because even in the Mace, he references Pyre. oh, I haven't felt anything this bad since Pyre.
Yeah.
That poor kid I couldn't save and became a villain. Now, I don't know if Potts came back to do any more Venom books. I really think Potts did a great job with this one. You got the artwork by Liam Sharp. It's very dynamic. It's very explosive. It's very just out there, in your face, 90s extreme, but the good side of that coin, if you get what I'm saying. You got great stuff with Venom, great characterization going on. I think Becca's a little off. Yeah. She's a little one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Couldn't really get past that. I like the art. I love the story. I even like the character of the Mace, as extreme as it is, and it doesn't make sense that he's got infrared vision, but if he puts on sunglasses straight up that you bought at a Walgreens, or back in the day, a Big B, right?
He went and got himself some cheap sunglasses.
I'll wear my sunglasses at night. They're all clones of Corey Hart.
Don't put the blood on the guy in the shades.
It's true. That's what he's telling Venom. He's like, all throughout the issue, he's pleading with Venom. Don't twist the blade on the guy in the shades. Oh, no. Brooks, what do you think of the Mace? Would you recommend it to someone, especially a Venom fan?
Yeah, I think Venom fans would definitely like this story. It's a lot of fun. It's, it's a Venom story.
Do you like the artwork in it?
Yeah, I thought the artwork was good. I mean, it's 90s comic book art. Yeah, it's kind of an acquired taste, but I really liked it.
There are moments where it's clunky. Like, yeah. I'll give you that. But there are moments where it just absolutely shines. I'm trying to find one right now. Oh, he also does this weird thing in this book where he's got the extra shields, man. Explain that. Try to explain that to the viewers while I find this image for you.
I have no idea how it's supposed
Well, he was trying to, build up his symbiote into these different layers of shield.
He's trying to make it, as good a defensive type extension of himself, I guess, as he could get.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. It was so instead of just making one shield, I can make 3. And so by the time they make through, each shield will absorb the effects of the other one, right? Or something like that. You have lots of flowing hair in the artwork, lots of veins, lots of tendrils, lots of teeth, lots of craziness. But that shield thing is pretty crazy there. There's this moment where he's spinning Brooks. Yeah, right there. Look at that. And then in this book, in the trade, they show that image, but they show it in black and white. And straight up, to me, it's just amazing. Maybe I'll find that image. I probably won't. I'll show it to you afterwards. I'm wasting time. I like the artwork. I think it's cool. It is very 90s. I do like the story. I think it holds up, man. Yeah. Are you sad that the Mace never returned?
Yeah, they should bring the Mace back.
I tell you what, guys.
That'd be a good surprise character just to bring back out of the blue.
Anybody at Marvel listening right now, we're not pitching you anything. But if you want the Mace to come back in a big way in 3 issues, me and Brooks got you. You hook us up with a great artist, we got you. We got you. We will formulate this idea. We can bring Mace back.
Totally.
You want to bring Mace and Pyre back?
Mace would be one of the easiest characters to, bring back.
What about, you want to bring Mace and Pyre back?
Yeah, maybe they should be, enemies. Maybe
we should write a 3-issue Venom series called The Mace Pyre. Pyre of Mace. No. I remember
really. I have to think something there now.
I remember liking this one when I was a kid, and I still like it there. It holds up for me. It holds up in the context of the 90s.
Yeah.
Anyway, join us next week here on Comics Revisited. We'll be talking about V for Vendetta because the 5th of November is very, very close. We'll have a special guest, L.W. Allen, with me that episode. And then after that, me and Brooks getting right back to some Venom books. Very excited to do this. More exciting Comics Revisiteds coming soon. We want to know, what are your recollections of Venom the Mace? What do you think about it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Please do join us at patreon.com/PCP, where we have exclusive content, like when we showed off all of our Venom toys. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys should totally get on the Patreon, $1 a month, unlock early access, exclusive content, all that and more. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups. This is
Brooks.
And Umbrellas.